Today's active recovery, you got a 2-for-1. Everyone's favorite pizza and mobility workout. We're gonna simultaneously help improve your squat position, so depth and quality of the movement, and prepare you for sitting. So when we loosen up the hips, the spine, and especially when we get the ankles a little bit more mobile, we can improve that squat position, but we also are helping improve, not necessarily improve sitting, but at least prepare you if you are going to be sitting for prolonged periods of time. That being said, you should be getting up every 50 to 60 minutes anyway, but I understand. Some of you have to work, a flight, movie. Maybe you're just lazy. No, it's probably not you if you're watching this. Regardless, this is gonna help you out. So first thing we need, I'm using a kettlebell. I've been trying to think of a household item that would substitute this. There really isn't. No one really has a cannonball in their house with a handle. So the kettlebell on its own, in a pinch, you can use a coffee table or a stair, the edge of a stair. Those are the two best things I've thought as a substitute. Second piece of equipment, a box or a chair, a couch, something you can put your foot up on. So this is gonna be important for you. We're gonna do a lot of this standing because this is something that we want to do, especially anti-sitting, is to stand, but also get some different positions. So first thing that we wanna look at doing here is getting your foot up nice and high onto, actually, before we start with that, let's do our first squat. So here's our test. Get into a squat position, and ideally you're filming this, but if you're not, you're gonna feel it. I wanna come down into 3 full squats. So 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm gonna go from the side, same thing. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we go to the stand. We've got that. That is our test. So with this stand position, I wanna get my foot up onto the box, but I also wanna make sure that my knee is over top of the toe. So from the side, my knee over top of the toe is critical in this position. So often when we work on these positions, I'm seeing people and they haven't finished that end range. So being able to get your butt cheek down to your leg, and you can adjust the height. This is Northern European descent height. So I've got this position with my knee over top of the toe, over top of the pinky toe, my butt down to the heel. This is the first thing, because if you think about the bottom of a squat, right? Ideally, just look at my torso and my leg, not the lower leg down here, but the leg here. This is the position we want to be in, right? If we have a perfect squat, this is what we can get down into. So from the front, okay, I hope you're holding this position because this is part of the position here. I've got also an outward, you can see angle. So my knee is not in. So let's just say we're going into this 3-dimensional look here. Knee is over top of the pinky toe, butt down onto the heel, okay? Critical. And it's really important that we cover this and get this down, because if you're not doing this, you're gonna work a little bit on your mobility, but you're not gonna optimize it. So as I get into this position, I wanna push the knee forward over top of the pinky toe, okay, and drive my heel down into the ground so that the heel's not coming off, or heel into the box, and then just lean into it. So as I hold this position here, I'm now going to create a little bit more space by putting my hand on the inside, push that knee out, but still keep it over top of the toe. So again, for those of you that can get into this position, right, this is good. Not all of you are gonna be able to get down into this position, and holding this is gonna benefit you a little bit more. So we're holding this position, driving forwards, loosening up, and then we're gonna come down. Okay, so onto the mat. We're gonna stay on the same leg, going into the kettlebell now. Now I wanna go into the calf. I wanna start with a little calf smash, so I start just below the knee. So if you're on the edge of a stair, coffee table, whatever that is, you can put a towel under it if it's not as round as a kettlebell handle, and I'm just gonna smash left and right, smash left and right. Okay, so I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And what I'm looking for here are little ropey areas, any little knots in the muscle. And as I perform this little discovery smash, I'll get about 2/3 of the way down and then come back up, find that area that was a little bit tight, and then I'm gonna pull the toe up, point the toe, pull the toe up, point the toe. Okay, and as I'm doing this, I can also do some circles through the ankle and then smash over to another side. Side actually isn't so bad. Okay, and then move down a little bit, find another area, pull the toe up and push. Ankles are such a critical part of your squat, often overlooked. Okay, and this is an opportunity to help loosen up the calves, get the ankles prepared for the squat. Okay, and as I'm pinning and smashing, I'm doing these ankle circles. I'm finding some different corners of the muscle that could be leveraged. Okay, smash left and right, pull the toe into the shin, pull the toe into the shin. Okay, it is uncomfortable, especially if you're doing this on a 90 degree, like if you're doing this on a coffee table or a stair. Put a towel underneath it, but it should be moderately uncomfortable and pushing into the muscle. So we're basically segmenting the muscle like we do with all of our pin and extend technique here to try and lengthen different segments of that muscle. So loosening up different segments of the muscle. Muscle should be like a rare piece of meat. Okay, nice and soft and mushy to the touch. Okay, with no discomfort or minimal discomfort. They should not feel like an overcooked piece of meat, which is firm. Okay, when that overcooked piece of meat is firm, these are the areas I'm speaking of, the ropey areas that need to be leveraged. Okay, so I've loosened up that right side. Now I'm going to stay on the right side. I'm going to go into a lizard position. Okay, so we started standing. Now I want to go into the lizard position. The same thing in this lizard position. I now want to get my knee over top the pinky toe. This is going to be harder to do because with the box, we had different leverage. Notice now to get my butt down to my heel comes off. Okay, but I'm going to be working on a different position. Now we're going to go a little bit more into the hips. We've loosened up the first part standing. We've loosened up the calves, ankles in that smash. And now we're going to get the inside arm down to the ground and pushing the knee out wide. So from the front, okay, again, you've got this outward angle. So as you descend in your squat, your knee should not be here over the middle of your foot. Your knee needs to be out over top of the pinky toe. In fact, if we're dropping it down, it's actually outside of the foot. But I've still maintained my tripod foot, big toes on the ground, little toes on the ground, pushing that knee forwards, inside arm down, in through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, and just hold this stretch. Now, for some of you, if you're looking for more of a challenge, you get that chest right down. I know hypermobile people, you're able to get lower, but do not negate positions. Knee over top of the pinky toe, okay, butt over top of the heel. And although your squat mobility might not need work, your squat quality can always use work, and you probably sit at some point, so this will help loosen up as well. For me, I'm feeling that stretch into the sort of medial high hamstring, okay, so right in the middle of the leg, sort of on the side, almost adductor groin area. And as I sink into this, okay, I'm noticing where my limiting factors are. So for each person, it might be a little bit different, but as you sink more into this squat, into this static stretch here, okay, you're gonna find there might be some areas that don't loosen up as fast as the others. You might not have noticed them at the beginning, now you're noticing them more. And I know for me, so when I'm doing a squat warm-up, okay, to get ready for a squat, I like to do a little bit more adductor stuff because I know my adductors, okay, the inside of my leg, groin area, are what limit me to get down into the bottom of a squat. Ankles a bit too, but mainly at this point, because I've spent a lot of time working on the ankles, they've gotten a lot better, but mainly the adductor. So as you do this, discover what are you feeling is a little bit tighter, maybe what's something you could do before class to help work on that, because it is highly individualized. I mean, a squat is a squat, but people are going to respond differently to it. If you're watching this, you probably have heard me talk about this multiple times. Every single time you see me, you can never work on too much squatting, right? Like you can always, you could probably lift too much weight too often, but passive squatting, sitting in the bottom of a squat, and the best way to get better at a squat is to just squat more, although this will help optimize it. 2, 1, and good. Okay, so let's stand up. So we're lopsided now, right? We've all done the one side. Just go down to those 3 squats. 3, 2, okay, and it's no surprise that, let's go from the side now, 3 more if you're filming, otherwise just perform another 3. It's no surprise that we feel looser on the one side, 2, 3, but then we can discover where is it that you feel it's open up. I know I can feel my knee can get forward further and my knee can come out because my groin's a little bit looser. This is why, especially with the ankles, the heels elevated is an important progression to do because it helps that lack of ankle mobility. Okay, so let's go on the other side now. Pop up here, in through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, and I'm finding my position here to get down nice and low into the squat. My butt is down onto the heel. Okay, I've got a little So, okay, so for more on me, you guys are gonna be more familiar with my squat anatomy than you are with yours, because I've been, analyzing this. But for me, for instance, my other Achilles is the one that tore, and that tendon's now it's looser. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit looser, which actually helps ankle mobility. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it helps with ankle mobility. So for me, needing to push this knee over top of the outside of the pinky toe, okay, I'm feeling this stretch more in the calf here, because this is tougher for me to get my butt down to the heel than it was on the other side. So maybe you've got one side where you're just tighter than the other. That should be the side you spend a little bit more time on, right? That should be the side you spend a little bit more time on. So I'm in through the nose, out through the nose, holding on to this position. I'm pushing the knee out, get my arm on the inside, in through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, and also, and you can't see my back foot here. Actually, I'll come on this side so you can. I want to keep my hip closed, so I don't want this foot open. If I'm here, right, I might accomplish my butt down to the heel and my knee over top of the toe, but my belly button's facing this way now, as opposed to it coming inwards or staying closed. And this is important because this is going to mimic more the bottom of the squat. So now when I do this, I feel more in the hip flexor in the back as well, which isn't so much a limiting factor for the squat. This comes back to our 2-for-1. It helps with sitting. So loosening up that hip flexor. So I like doing this one from a standing position as well, because I get to work on the bottom of this squat position. I can even hold on to this handle and pull myself down a little bit more. In fact, if you can do this, this makes a huge difference. Even to the side of your chair, whatever it is that you're holding on to. I have to go on the outside, but this is going to allow me to get my butt down close to the ankle, in through the nose, out through the nose. Really compress, and I get a bit of hip flexor stretch. Another 3, 2, 1, and up. Shaking that out. Let's go into the calf. Smash. So start on the top. Oof, this one's worse. A little bit more meat on the bone. This one here. Okay, so discovery smash, working down towards the ankle. And again, the calf obviously attaches into the foot via the ankle, via the Achilles tendon. So we loosen up through the calf. We allow that whole chain, that whole lower leg musculature to operate more efficiently. All right, going back and forth. I'm gonna have no problem finding these ropey areas, and then I'm gonna pin and extend. Okay, and you want to find the areas where when you pin and extend, you notice the difference in the tension, right? So when I point the toe, okay, when I extend, I'm shortening the muscle. This allows me to get deeper into the smash or into this kettlebell handle. And then when I pull my toe up, okay, into the shin, I'm extending the muscle, or I'm lengthening the muscle, I should say, and that's going to cause the muscle to just lengthen a little bit more. When you pin it, it feels a little bit more uncomfortable. So this whole portion of point the toe, let it sink, and then pull the toe, enjoy the tension. In through the nose and out through the mouth. These are really important. I mean, stretching, it's really in all mobility, all exercise. But when we're doing the self-myofascial technique, the SMRT or Smurf, however you describe it, where we're working on self-massage, essentially, you have to relax. You have to relax into it. If you're tense into it, you're just not going to get the full benefit. Okay, this is good. I'm on a release. Okay, side note, public service announcement. I am on a pretty gnarly spot, but I feel like I'm going to get a release. So any of you who've gotten acupuncture, maybe some deep tissue massage, you almost feel it's not like bubble wrap in the sense that it just pops, but bubble wrap in the sense that it goes away. I'm feeling this release, the muscles loosening up because I've relaxed onto it. So I just hang out here. I don't need to do anything. I can just feel it loosening up. Feel it loosening through my ankle. In through the nose, out through the mouth. These are the golden zones. The most bang for your buck. You find these areas and you get the release. It helps relieve the symptom. It might not solve the problem, right? Because again, symptoms are often caused. Oh, now I'm going to pull up. by another issue. So you've got a symptom. If you solve the symptom, okay, if you get rid of the symptom, it does not necessarily get rid of the problem. Helps with discomfort, which can obviously be beneficial, but it does not get rid of the root cause. So why is it that my left side is so tight? What is it? What was the mechanism of injury, in the case it's an injury or mechanism, that caused tightness? So for me, I've been doing more running. This calf is picking up a lot of the slack because it's stronger than the other one, and it is getting a little bit more strained than the other one. So I've got these ropey, these knotty areas in here to work on. So for me, I spend a little bit more time on this side, and you're just along for the ride here if you're doing this. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. That was the spot. That was, if there's anything that I accomplished today in life in general, it was that release. In through the nose, out through the mouth, point, pull. Okay, got another one. Okay, it's snappy. Okay, let's see if I can find all the different archetypes here. The snappy muscle, the one that snaps over top of a bone, snaps over top of whatever it is you're pinning down. Okay, these snappy ones sometimes are tough to pin because you think you pin it and then all of a sudden it just sort of snaps over to the side. You got to roll it. You got to finesse that area. I find that, so you roll back and forth. Got to find that area. I find it. I pin it as much as I can. I'm pushing down more than I was in the other one because I need to keep that muscle there. Otherwise, it'll snappy, snap, snap. And then I pull the toe up to the shin and I can stay on top of it. Some are trickier than others and it's just going to snap regardless, but I'm confident you'll figure it out. Okay, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and good. All right, that was great. I don't know if you're quite as excited as I am about it, but wonderful. All right, lizard on the other side. So let's go down, get into position. I'll show you on this side. Okay, knee over top of the pinky toe, heel down on the ground. So let's just still maintain that tripod foot. Pinky toe, big toe, heel down onto the ground, push the knee forwards. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more high hip here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Finish up on this one here. Then do our retest. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, just let's double check position. Is your knee as far forward as you can get without the heel coming off the ground? Is the knee on the outside? Okay, pinky toe or even further out. And then I want to get my inside arm down to the ground and hang out here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I can feel sort of the space opening up as I loosen up into the leg, and this goes into the same idea, adductors here, so groin area, and I'm sort of pushing that knee out, create some space. So I just temporarily get my big toe heel off the ground to create that space, then I plant it back down. Sort of like when we do the knee circles in a warm-up, right? We're trying to discover these end ranges. Now at the static stretch that we're doing here, we're able to get a little bit deeper into the position. And this is not something I would do before squatting, right? Like this is a stretch. This is something that will not, it'll help you get deeper into the stretch, but you also, and this is why we don't do static stretching before workouts and why you shouldn't either, is that you over lengthen the muscle. You lengthen the muscle beyond its functional capacity, which increases the risk of injury, decreases your tensile strength, which is fancy words for saying you won't be able to lift as much, mainly the increase of injury. So although you might be able to get deeper, you're actually putting yourself at more risk. However, great way to cool down in the squat and especially keep momentum between squat workouts, because as you know, squatting more helps your squat. But if you're not squatting every day, which you're probably not, doing something like this in between days that you squat, okay, or all days that you don't squat can help improve this position so that you can carry that momentum into your squat workout, do a good squat warm-up, enjoy the benefits of this active recovery and this mobility between workouts to help improve and optimize your fitness. Summarize that into 3 sentences for me. So keep that inside arm down if you can. For me, this is enough tension. Get down a little bit more. Again, hip is closed. I'm not open. I want to keep this hip closed so my hips are facing forwards, not open. Again, mimicking the squat. Getting a good hip flexor stretch. The back hip. Again, all of this especially through the hips. Okay, but then you loosen up to the low back as well. Helps with if you're gonna go sit. So look at this, 2 for 1. Cannot stress it enough. Probably, besides Toonie Tuesdays, Tuesday nights at the movies, 2 for 1 pizzas may have been the most exciting thing as a kid. Now, as an adult, when we do it in mobility. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push that out. Whew. Standing up. All right, let's go into those squats. How do they feel? How do they look? I feel lopsided again. Now I gotta do the other side. No, we don't need to do the other side. But actually, it just goes to show you how fast, you lose that mobility, right? Like we just worked on that squatting on the other side, and already the side we just worked on feels better. But again, this is how it works. Gotta keep at it. Fitness is not a journey. Wait a minute. It's the other way around. Fitness is not a destination. It's a journey. There. That's a better cheesy cliche. I want to continue to do this. So use, especially this whole active recovery series, the shorter workouts that we're doing. Pick which ones work best for your goals. Put them in your toolbox. Use them when you need to. I'll see you in the next one.